What's up, YouTube and Facebook and all your other social media outlets? It's your boy Uncle Fred coming back in the house one more time with another video. Go ahead and hit that like, comment, and subscribe. Just want to give you a little short video on week 17. Yeah, man, it's the last weekend of the NFL season, man. We got about 3-4 weeks of playoffs, and then it'll be over. But amen. All good things must come to an end at some point. Okay? Even life itself. All right. But I'm not gonna be all melodramatic and all that. Week 17, and I didn't do a pick'em show, but I went ahead and looked at my picks, and your boy went 12-4. Not too bad. Not too bad. 16 game week. I missed 4 games. I'm just gonna go ahead and give you a rundown on all of 16 of the games, scores, maybe touch on about 3 or 4 of the games, and then we're gonna go to my pick'ems for week 18 and what I think is gonna happen and how these playoffs I think gonna line up. Okay, so let's go ahead and just get right into it. Like I said, please like, comment, and subscribe. Become a part of the Uncle Fred Sports Experience. I guarantee you will not be disappointed. All right, let's just go into these games here. First of all, let's just look at let's go to a couple of games here. We know on Monday night, the Pittsburgh Steelers beat the Cleveland Browns 26-14 in Ben's last game at Heinz Field. As he says he's set for retirement. Big Ben was 23 out of 46 for 123 yards, 1 touchdown to Deontay Harris. And I think Baker Mayfield was like 20 for 30 for 185 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions. But the story of the game was Najee Harris. It was 7-0, and then it was 10-7 and 7-7 and 10-7, and then it had come to 13-7, and then it was 16-7, and then 19-7, then 19-14, and then Cleveland was trying to get a stop, and I'll be dadgum with my boy Najee Harris. Roll Tide. Bust off 37 yards, longest run of the season, for about 37 yards and a touchdown. He's 28 carries, 188 yards and a touchdown. And if I'm not mistaken, let's see. Yeah, here we go. So just for laughs and giggles here. Yes, sir. 296 rushes, 1,172 yards, and 7 touchdowns. Way to go, Najee. Took a heck of a beating this year too, because they really weren't blocking for him. He's doing a lot of this stuff on his own, running over guys and things like that. But we already had that talk about Baker Mayfield on my last video. He was sacked 9 times, 4 of them, 3.5 or 4 of them by my man T.J. Watt, who I love me some Michael. If I had to make a vote for a defensive player of the year, I guess I'd have to pick TJ Watt because he's got like 20 sacks, 20 and a half sacks. And before anybody say anything about, remember, he ain't played but 15 games. He missed a game, okay? And if he get Michael Strahan's record, and remember, Strahan got a gimme on his. Brett Favre just laid down for him. I remember that. Y'all might not remember back that far. Y'all may not even remember Brett Favre even played. But I saw that. I go back a little further than y'all. But Pittsburgh wins that 26-14. They got an odds-on chance. A lot of things have to go a specific way for them to get in the playoffs. First, they got to win this week. And then a lot of other things got to happen. Like I think Jacksonville got to beat Indianapolis, and maybe the Chargers and the Raiders, who both beat the Steelers, got a tie or something. So I think it's a long road, but it'd be a good way to go out because Mike Tomlin's never had a losing season, and then he would be 9-7-1 with a win on Sunday, next Sunday, this Sunday coming up. But the Steelers win 26-14, Ben's last day, and typical Ben fashion, did just enough to get by, and running game and other stuff took care of it, and then the defense was able to win the day. So Steelers win 26-14. Then the Falcons played the Bills. Falcons actually had a 1-point lead in this game. It was 15-14. I'm like, look at my Falcons. But no, the Bills came back and won. But Josh Allen was god awful, man. He smelled up the place, man. Josh Allen was 11 of 26 for 120 yards, no touchdowns. Okay, 3 interceptions. Ugh, yuck. Thank God for Devin Singletary. 23 carries, 110 yards, 4-yard touchdown, 6-yard touchdown. When plus the 2-point conversion, when the Falcons was up 15-14, that's what gave them that 15-point margin. And the Falcons, they were just the Falcons. Second half, they couldn't do anything. Matt Ryan with 197 yards and no touchdowns and 1 interception. Didn't really do much of nothing. But the Bills win and they go 10-6. Falcons fall to 7-9. They could have won 8-8 had they won that, and had a chance outside of chance the playoffs had they won and didn't win this week at New Orleans, but at home with New Orleans, I should say. But nope. Falcons, Bills win, and they're trying to seal up that division. Stephon Diggs 5 catches, 52 yards. And I think Josh Allen also had like 11 carries for 74 yards. So what he made up for in rushes, passes, he made up for just for laughs and giggles. I want to see how many yards Josh Allen has rushed for this season. Just want to know. Wow. 117 carries for 700 yards and 6 touchdowns. So he got 700 yards rushing. That's very interesting. That's interesting. Very interesting. Because he is 64% passing, 4,168 yards, 34 touchdowns, 15 interceptions. Yeah, okay. Well, I don't know. Well, we'll see. That's not a bad, but not MVP worthy or anything like that. But that's a good season. Okay, Jaguars, Pack, and Patriots. You knew this was going to be, and I had all 3 of these. I had, Patriots win 50-10. Mac Jones 22 of 27. 22 of 30, 227, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. Trevor Lawrence, 193 yards, 1 touchdown, 3 interceptions. Trevor Lawrence played 16 games. Dude has 10 touchdown passes, 17 interceptions. Yeah. Ramondre Stevenson, 19 carries, 107 yards and 2 touchdowns. And Damian Harris also had 58 yards and 2 touchdowns. Rusher had 4 touchdowns on the ground and 3 touchdowns in the air. And I think they had a missed extra point or something like that. So 50. They hung a 50 burger. That's New England's second 50 burger of this season, because they hung 50 on the Jets. I think it was 54-13, and now they hang 50 on the New England Patriots, and I think they hung 45 on the Cleveland Browns. So hats off to New England Patriots. They make the playoffs. They go to 10-6, and the Jaguars fall to 2-13. 2-14. I'm sorry. All right. So then we got, oh my gosh, this is the game of the day right here, man. I missed this one, but it was the game of the day. Kansas City Chiefs and the Cincinnati Bengals. Oh yeah, man. I watched all this one right here. I had the Chiefs, but I knew it was gonna be fireworks. Okay. Bengals win 34-31. But let me crack this one open for y'all and let you see what this one tastes like. Let me crack this one open. So anyhow, Kansas City, And it looks like in the first half, Kansas City just gonna do everything they want to because they didn't punt in the first half. Chiefs had the ball 4 times in the first half, scored touchdown on all 4. They go They go. Well, let me see. Yeah, let me just like this. Here we go. They go. Let's go box score. All right. Yeah, first touchdown. They go 5 plays, 40 yards, touchdown, extra point, good, 7-0. It's a Mahomes deep right. Robinson 29 yards, touchdown, 7-0 Chiefs. Then Bengals 3 plays, 4 plays, 5 plays, whatever, punt, get the ball back to the Kansas City. They go 7 plays, 73 yards. Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, 3-yard touchdown. Extra point by Butker, 14-0, capping off a 7 play, 73 yard, 3-minute 50-yard drive, 3-minute 50-minute drive, and it's 14-0. All right. Then the Bengals first touchdown, and the thing got it cracked open. Bengals go short pass off left. It was a slant, left slant. Jamar Chase caught the ball by 8-10 yards off the line of scrimmage. Nobody was around him. Took off for the races. Ran it. I'm sitting there watching. Oh, you ain't finna catch. You ain't finna catch Jamar Chase. Runs down the sideline. When he gets to the end zone, it's about 8 Kansas City Chiefs in chase. And couldn't catch him. Touchdown. 72-yard touchdown, Jamar Chase. 14-7 Chiefs. And extra point good is 14. Capping off a 2-play, 72-yard drive. It's 14-7. Just like that, they right back in the game. But Kansas City's like, nah, bro. No, we know y'all gonna come to score, so we coming with full artillery. So they come in the next drive, go 9 plays, 75 yards. Damian Williams off right guard for 1 yard, touchdown, extra point good, 21-7, capping off a 9-play, 75-yard drive, picking up 4 minutes and 5 seconds, and it's 21-7 Kansas City. But Cincinnati's like, no, you check, I'm finna checkmate you. So they come back with a 18-yard pass. This one, he big boyed the cornerback, caught it over the top of him, looked down at him like, what you doing? What you doing there trying to cover me? 18 yards, touchdown, capping 9-play, 75-yard drive, taking up 5 minutes and 14 seconds of the drive of the clock. And it's 21-13, extra points good, 21-14, and we got a ball game. But Kansas City's like, we ain't through yet. So they go Damian Williams up the middle again, 1 yard, touchdown, and extra points good, capping off a 9-play, 73-yard drive, extra points good, 28-14. And I'm like, goodness, Cincinnati, you gonna stop them one time? Because they score a touchdown every time they get the football, because the last 2 times they each scored touchdowns. So nobody was punting, But they never stopped them. 3rd down, 4th down, whatever. Didn't matter. Nobody was stopping anybody. So Cincinnati, right before halftime, they go 11 plays, 33 yards, and El McPherson kicks a 46-yard field goal, and it cuts it to 11 points going to halftime, and it's 28-14. So I'm like, okay, they got a shot. But I guarantee at halftime, Zach Taylor's like, look, man, if we can get 1 or 2 stops in the second half, dude, we got a shot. But y'all, we gotta get a stop because they couldn't tackle, they couldn't cover, couldn't do anything. They couldn't do it. Kansas City was doing everything they wanted, but Cincinnati, when whatever Zach Taylor said at halftime, it must have worked. Because the first drive of the second half, Cincinnati goes 3 plays, 75 yards, capped off deep right pass, 69-yard touchdown to Jamar Chase, his 3rd touchdown. I think on this particular drive, since Kansas City gave up a 3rd down and 27. Dude, you can't give up 3rd and 27. Not now, not ever. In Kansas City, you might want to double cover Jamar Chase. Because Jamar Chase, you know what Jamar Chase did in this game? Do you know? Well, if you don't know, I'm fixing to tell you. Jamar Chase, in this particular game, he went 11 catches, 266 yards, and 3 touchdowns. For the season, Jamar Chase, 79 catches, 1,429 yards, and 13 touchdowns. If you're doing your math, that's right at 20 yards of completion. Tops in the NFL if you need him. But I was thinking you might want to cover that dude. You know what I'm saying? Because he's killing y'all. Might want to, make somebody else beat me. Make Tyler Boyd beat you. Make what's the other kid's name? Make T. Higgins beat you. I'm not giving DeMar Chase single coverage because obviously you guys can't cover him. Honey Badger or whoever else was covering him couldn't cover him. So anyhow, it's 28, 23, and then here's the coup de grace. Burrow, right, short left. Taj Boyd. I keep wanting Taj Boyd. Taj Boyd was a quarterback for the Clemson Tigers. It's Tyler Boyd. Okay, Tyler Boyd. 5-yard touchdown, and the Cincinnati Bengals take the lead. Extra point by McPherson's good, and it's 31-28. Kansas City can't seem to get. It's like the first half, they couldn't be stopped. Second half, they can't get conversions. Okay, but Kansas City finally goes 11 plays, 52 yards, but they had to settle for a 34-yard Harrison Butker field goal and ties it all at 31 apiece. And Cincinnati gets the ball one last time. They go 15 plays, 74 yards, and El McPherson kicks a 20-yard field goal with 2 seconds left in the clock, and the Cincinnati Bengals get a rousing 34-31 win, a game I missed, but the most exciting game of the day. Joe Burrow. Let me tell you about my boy Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow, 30 of 39, 446 yards, 4 touchdowns, no interception. So for 2 weeks, last week against Baltimore, this week against Kansas City, Joe Burrow threw for almost 1,000 yards, 9 touchdowns, and no interceptions. Joe Burrow for the season is a 70.4% completion percentage, tops in the NFL, 4,611 yards, 34 touchdowns, 14 interceptions. Okay, Pro Football Focus got him number 1. Don't know about that. I still think I'd have A-Rod number 1, but Pro Football Focus be smoking a cha-cha sometime. You know what I'm saying? But that's going to be his season-ending stats because they're not going to play him this week when they play Cleveland in the season-ending one. So, but that's a great game. Cincinnati, 475 yards of total offense. Kansas City, 414 yards of total offense. Everything else is pretty even. 30 minutes to 29.06. Time of possession about even. 23 first downs. Kansas City was 6 of 11 on third down. A lot of those, because I think they were like 5 for 5 in the first half. And I think they was like 1 for 6 in the second half, and so but Cincinnati, was 4-10. So, they both punted quite a bit on that. Kansas City was 1 for 1 on fourth down. Cincinnati was 1 for 1 on fourth down. Okay. 58 plays, 63 plays. Cincinnati didn't run the ball well. They only had 60 yards rushing, whereas Kansas City, Damian Williams had 88 yards rushing and 2 touchdowns. And so they rushed for 155 yards. Mahomes only passed for 259 yards, 26 of 35 for 259, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. Okay, but I think what did Kansas City in the second half was the penalties. There was holding, there was illegal motion and legal shifts. A lot of them negated first downs and things of that nature. So that kept them from a lot of conversions in the second half. And like I said, they didn't punt in the first half at all. So 3 punts came in the second half. Okay, and but anyway, the most exciting game of the day. And congratulations to Cincinnati. And with that win, they clinched it. And who knew going into the season this year? People will say it's going to be Baltimore, maybe Cleveland. It could be Pittsburgh if Ben Roethlisberger plays there. Nobody had Cincinnati winning that thing. Nobody. Hats off to the Cincinnati because they overcome a lot of adversity because the Browns, not the team, the Browns, but the Browns that own the Paul Brown, I think is his name, Paul Brown, that owns the Bengals. I think they did own the Browns and the Bengals. Very cheap. They're the only team in the NFL that don't have an indoor practice facility. You know how cold it gets in Cincinnati? You know, they got outdated. You know, the stadium is about 50 years old. I mean, and to think this team, dilapidated equipment and facilities, this team just winning in a new attitude, new culture. Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase doing their thing up. Bengals 10-6, AFC North champions if you need them. Congratulations to the city. Kansas City, you had a chance. If y'all won this game, y'all would have had a first round bye all the way through the playoffs and would have won y'all 9th straight game. But you know, couldn't get Cincinnati off the field in the second half and kept covering Jamar Chase to y'all's chagrin. So Kansas City falls to 11-5, and Cincinnati is 11, is 10-6. Okay. Then we go to the Rams and the Ravens. Now, this one I'm gonna tell you about this one here because I'm just gonna tell you Matt Stafford. I'm just gonna tell you Matt Stafford. If you got the Los Angeles Rams in your thing, you might want to kind of, you know, I don't know. Matt Stafford, you know, I was kind of all on his bandwagon in the first half of the season, but Matt Stafford got like 5 pick sixes. I've never seen nobody have that many pick sixes. He had like 3 straight games with a pick six. He had a pick six last week, I believe, when they played. Who they play last week? They won, but who they play last week? They had a pick six. He had a first pick six in the first quarter. Threw it right to the linebacker, number 56. Hit him right between the 5 and the 6. And it was 7-0, just like that. And I don't know what's going on with that because it's intended for Tyler Higbee and Chuck Clark, intercepted 17 yards, touchdown, hits him right between the 5 and the 6, and the 7-0 Ravens. And pretty much that's the only touchdown they scored. They kicked field goals. Matt Stafford ended up going, 25 or 36, 309, 2 touchdowns, but he got 2 interceptions. For the season, Matt Stafford is 67% completion percentage, 38 touchdowns. That's pretty good. 15 interceptions. That don't smell too good. 4, maybe 5 pick sixes. So not only did you throw an interception, but they scored on him, 4,648 yards. Okay. So, I mean, he's having a good season on there, but I mean, he's just turning the ball over way, 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 way too much. Tyler Huntley, I mean, he was 20 or 32 for the Ravens, 197. But I'm going to have to give it to Odell Beckham on a critical 4th down catch in the 4th quarter. That ball was thrown in the dirt. Odell dug that thing out with one hand, held that thing up, first down. They was able to come down, kick that, get the winning touchdown to go up 20-19, and they win that game late, 20-19. With a short right pass, he catches a touchdown pass on the drive too. A 7-yard touchdown pass, and it makes it 20-19. Okay, because it was 16-7 Ravens. And I was like, man, y'all gonna let the Ravens beat y'all, man? Really, really? And but I have to give Stafford his credit because he came back in the second half and got them back. And Odell Beckham had a pretty good game. He was 5 catches, 39 yards and a touchdown. Cooper Kupp 6 catches, 95 yards and a touchdown for the season on the Cooper Kupp watch. 138 catches, 1,829 yards, and 15 touchdowns. So he needs 12 catches for 171 yards against the San Francisco 49ers to get the 150 2,000 club. Okay, he needs 12 catches for 179 yards to do that. A little tough. I don't think he'll get it. I think he'll have about 10 catches. he'll have about 147, 148 catches, about 1,900 yards, and maybe 16 touchdowns. That's what he'll probably get. But I mean, I'm telling you, if he gets to 150, 2,000, I might. There'll be some people because of some of the pushback that Aaron Rodgers is getting, and some of the, a lot of the negative stuff that Tom Brady's getting with the whole Odell Beckham, Antonio Brown thing. He might get some votes, if he's able to hit those milestones. But the Rams gutted out on a good win, 12-4. Lost their fourth straight. They were 8-4. Now they're 8-8, and are out of playoff contention. So they're probably Lamar Jackson's season's probably over. I wouldn't play him in a meaningless game to get him hurt. So the Ravens see, their playoffs possibilities are all over. So anyhow, so with that, we go with the Las Vegas Raiders and the Indianapolis Colts. I missed this one also because I had the Indianapolis Colts winning that one because they were playing in Lucas Oil Field. But Derek Carr came to play, 255 yards, 1 touchdown. Josh Jacobs, 16 carries, 63 yards, and a touchdown. And they held Jonathan Taylor, held him to 108 yards. Yeah. But Carson Wentz only 148 yards and a touchdown. And but the Raiders do just enough, kick a winning field goal at the end of the game to win it, and they win 23-20. And the Raiders are still alive for a playoff berth, and have won their they've won their third straight game. Okay, and they're 9-7 now with a showdown on Sunday night against the Los Angeles Chargers. And the winner wins that last playoff spot. Okay, Colts. Look, man, y'all better win next week against Jacksonville, or y'all gonna be 9-8 and miss the playoffs. Okay, that's all I know. Dolphins and the Titans. I had the Dolphins winning that one. I missed that one because I thought the Dolphins defense would bottle up Tennessee's offense. But what the heck do I know, right? Ryan Tannehill only threw for 120 yards, but Dante Foreman, 26 carries, 132 yards, and a touchdown. Okay, and they just clobber Miami Dolphins, who was trying to win their 8th straight game. They had won 7 straight, trying to win their 8th straight game. But they all 34-3 to the Tennessee Titans. And don't look now, but the Tennessee Titans might be getting Derrick Henry back. Might not play this week against the Houston Texans, but surely enough, they'll get him in the first round of the playoff. Right now, the Tennessee Titans at 11-5 might be, if they win next week, might be the number 1 seed in the because them and the Kansas City Chiefs are the same record, but the Titans beat the Chiefs 27-3. Y'all heard that right? Okay, 27-0 at one point. But the Dolphins fall to 8-8, but that's still a good season because they were 1-7. You still got to give them their due, So moving on, the Bears, Chicago Bears beat the New York Football Giants 29-3. And Andy Dalton, 173 yards and a touchdown. Montgomery, 22 carries, 64 yards, with two touchdowns. And they beat the Giants, who are just woeful right now, and they fall to 4-12. Bears move up to 6-10. Not too shabby. Okay. Then you got the Philadelphia Eagles over the Washington Football Team, 20-16. Jalen Hurts passed for 214 yards, and I believe he ran for like 70 yards, and they win 20-14. They ran for 118 yards in this game, a little bit down from the 174 they've been averaging, but they was able to. And the Washington Football Team had a lead in this game, but they let the Philadelphia Eagles score 13 points in the second half, and they scored nothing because it was 16-13 at halftime, and Washington didn't score in the second half, and the Philadelphia Eagles 16 points in the second half, 13 points in the second half to win 20-16. And Washington football team are probably looking for some place to roll up and die and get this season over. This season can't end quick enough for the Washington football team. But I chronicled that on my football roundup video that earlier today. But yeah, Washington football team, and they're about the most snake bit team this year, and they're just waiting for this season to end. Next, we got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 28 and the New York Football Jets 24. And remember, the New York Football Jets had a 24-14 lead when this fiasco with Antonio Brown went down, but Tom Brady righted the ship, hitting Le'Veon Bell scores a touchdown, and some dude named Cyril Vance, I think that's his name, scores the winning touchdown. The Jets had a chance to salt the game away on like the 20-yard line going in. It had a 4th and 2, could have just kicked the field goal and would have gone up 27-20. It would have been a touchdown, but you know, what are you gonna do, man? You know, they and supposedly Robert Saleh says something about there was a miscommunication. Him and Mike LaFleur, you know, who's LaFleur's brother that coaches the Green Bay Packers. Matt LaFleur's brothers is Mike LaFleur. Supposedly it was supposed to have been an end around to Brandon Berrios. Brandon Berrios is a stud, man. That guy got a 100-yard kickoff return. I heard the other day he had 8 catches for 65 yards today, and he also had some catches also in this game, and so. But it was supposed to have been an end around for him, but they told Zach Wilson that if there was nobody in the A gap, to just quarterback sneak it, and supposedly it got misconstrued, and he just went in and tried to quarterback sneak, and he got stuffed and didn't get it. And then of course Tom Brady takes and goes the length of the field and scores the winning touchdown, and they win 28-24. The winning touchdown was scored by Cyril Grayson. That's his name. Cyril Grayson. Didn't play football, ran track at LSU. You know, whatever, man. First it was Brashard Perriman a couple of weeks ago against Buffalo. You know, it's a guy, you know. When Tom Brady gets it done, man, 28-24. That's probably one of the wins, the ones that the Jets grabbed defeat out of the jaws of victory, you know. So Tampa Bay moves on. Then we got the Los Angeles Chargers 34 and the Denver Broncos 13. And not much to say about this game. You know, we know that Teddy Bridgewater, you know, is out for the season, so they're going with Drew Lock, trying to get another look at him because they're going to probably be quarterback hunting this offseason again. Justin Herbert, 237 yards, 2 touchdowns. Austin Eckler, 17 carries, 58 yards, 1 touchdown. Mike Williams, 3 catches, 63 yards, and a touchdown. And the Chargers setting themselves up for the showdown this Sunday night against the Raiders. Winner gets that last playoff spot, or they can tie and they both get in it. Probably Jacksonville beats Indianapolis, but I don't look for that to happen. So anyhow, moving on, the San Francisco 49ers 23, the Texans 7. Not much to tell you about that game other than Trey Lance, 249 yards, 2 touchdowns. Elijah Mitchell, 21 carries, 119 yards. And Brandon Ayuk, 4 catches, 94 yards. You know, 49ers outlasted them 23-7, and they're trying to get a good look at Trey Lance to see what he can do. And as they move into they're still trying to draw for this last playoff spot. They're 9-7 as well. And of course, you know, they play the Rams on Sunday, you know, trying to get that one of those last playoff spots in the NFC. So Then you got the Dallas Cowboys and the Arizona Cardinals, and of course I lose that one also. You know, I'm always gonna ride or die with the Cowboys. But the Cardinals 25-22. Kyler Murray, 263 yards, 2 touchdowns. Edmonds 53 yards on 18 carries, but they just made enough plays in the fourth quarter to get the ball away from the Cowboys. Couldn't get a stop, and they win 25-22. Dak Prescott had a costly fumble with about 7 minutes to go in the game that could have let them have the go-ahead score, but it allowed the Cardinals to go in and tack on 3 extra points to put them up 9, and essentially put the game out of reach. Then we had the New Orleans Saints 18 and the Carolina Panthers 10. We know they chose to start Darnold, 132 yards passing, no touchdowns, a couple of interceptions, and Taysom Hill 222 yards, 1 touchdown. Also rushed 12 times for 45 yards. Nothing to be said here for this 18-10 Saints. Saints are 8-8 with a win over the Falcons on Sunday. Maybe they get into the playoffs and get their last playoff spot. Then the Seahawks making a statement, 51-29 over the Detroit Lions. Stop picking on the Lions. Russell Wilson, 236 yards, 4 touchdown passes. Rashad Penny, 25 carries, 170 yards, and 2 touchdowns. So that's 6 touchdowns right there. As they just opened a can on the hapless Detroit Lions, and they fall to 2-13-1. Seahawks move up to 6-10. And then finally, the last game on Sunday night, the last Sunday night game. Well, no, we got one this year. This week. I'm sorry. The Green Bay Packers over the Kirk Cousins Minnesota Vikings, 37-10, and it wasn't even that close. They're starting Sean Mannion threw for 189 yards, a couple of interceptions, led them in rushing with 2 carries for 14 yards. You know it's a bad game when he leads you in rushing with 14 yards. Aaron Rodgers, 288 yards, 2 touchdowns. Aaron Jones, 8 carries, 76 yards. Business-like. Devontae Adams, 11 catches, 136 yards, and 1 touchdown. Let's look at Devontae Adams' season stats, if you don't mind, because I know he's having a great season. I just wanted to see what kind of season he's having. The Green Bay Packers ran up 481 yards of offense on them. As I said, Aaron Rodgers 28-39, 288, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. Mannion 22-36, 1 touchdown. Oh, he didn't have an interception. They also went with Kelly Mond. He had 2 or 3 5 yards. It was kind of some controversy. And I think Mike Zimmer, it might be time for Mike Zimmer to go ahead and hit the bricks, man, because I didn't like how he talked to the reporters when they were discussing Kelly Mond, because they thought like, the starting quarterback was going to be Sean Mannion. He said, any chance you might want to take a look at Kelly Mond to see what he can do and what he can do? He said, no, not really. He said, I see him every day. I know what he can do. And that was kind of cold to me. And I didn't like that, because I like Kelly Mond. I remember watching him at Texas A&M, big, strong quarterback, man. He did some damage when they played Alabama a couple of times. I've seen him play against them. He's a good quarterback, man. I didn't like that. I think there's no place for that, man. Just, say, nah, we're just going to do this. We're going to look at this guy too. I didn't like that whole thing. And I think maybe, I think the trip might be over. The ride might be over for Mike Zimmer, as they take it on the chin, and they really weren't even competitive in this game. And I know they weren't going to be competitive with him and no Kirk Cousins, but Cook 9 carries, 13 yards. Really, what you gonna do with that, man? Really, Darwin Cook 9 carries, 13 yards. Really, and that's it, man. They only ran the ball like 11 times, But Jefferson 6 catches, 58 yards, and but really that game was never even in doubt. But those are my pick'ems. I went 12-4. Missed the Cincinnati Kansas City game. I missed the Indianapolis Raider game. I missed the obviously the Cowboy and the Cardinals game, and I missed the Titans and the Dolphins game. Those are 4 games I missed. I went 12-4. All right, so now let's look at our games for the last week of the NFL season. Here's my picks. Got 2 games on Saturday. You got the Kansas City Chiefs at the Denver Broncos. Now, the Kansas City Chiefs are still maybe trying to see if they can lock up the home field advantage because you only got one bye, with the new playoff format. And so that's a way for teams to continue to play their players, not rest guys. So I look for them to play a lot of their players when they play the Denver Broncos. Denver Broncos, I think their season is over. They're 7-9. I think they had a good run, but you're not going to win anything with God, what is his name? We were just talking about him. The dancing quarterback. I can't think his name. But you're not going to win anything with him. And so I got Kansas City winning that one on Saturday. Then the other Saturday game, which was flexed to Saturday, for more primetime viewership or whatever, on Saturday afternoon, you got the Dallas Cowboys at the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, the Cowboys coming to this thing with some issues. They got Tyron Smith. I think he's a COVID casualty because I think they was going to rest him anyway to get him ready for the playoffs. He's still recovering from that ankle, although he played last week. You also got Micah Parsons, COVID casualty, and I think you may have Trayvon Diggs as a COVID casualty, and Javon Curse as a COVID casualty. I'm not completely sure all of those. And Philadelphia is hungry. They're trying to move up this, and they're already in the playoffs. They may try to rest some guys. I know they do have 12 CV-19 case. So that's going to be interesting. But I got to roll with the Cowboys. I got the Cowboys. Pittsburgh Steelers at Baltimore. We do know that Johnson, the wide receiver for the Pittsburgh Steelers, will not be playing. So that's one receiver he wants at his disposal. And also know that Baltimore's probably not going to play anybody of significantly. They just want to get the season over with. They've had a bunch of COVIDs, a bunch of injuries, a bunch of IRs, a bunch of things going on. Second to the Redskins, maybe the Raiders. They've had a much regrettable season. And I look forward to go in there and win that game and give Mike Tomlin a 9-7-1 regular season and to keep him on the winners. They still got a kind of an outside chance to win, get a playoff, but a lot of things have to happen. I think the Raiders and the Chargers have to tie, and I think that Jacksonville has to beat Indianapolis or something like that in order for them to do that. And I don't see that happening, but there's a chance. Never say never, but I got Pittsburgh winning that one. Then you got Cincinnati at Cleveland. I do know Joe Burrow's not in this game because he's got a finger. I think he got some sort of leg injury. I think a thigh injury or something to that effect. And I think they want to rest him up for the playoffs. I'm not even sure who their backup quarterback is. I knew who it was last year. I don't know if that same guy is still playing for them. But anyhow, but they're playing Cleveland. Basically, Cleveland is playing the string out. We know Baker's having surgery. He's not playing. They're going to go with Case Keenum. A lot of players, probably not playing in this game. I look for Cincinnati, even with somebody other than Joe Burrow playing. I still look for them to beat Cleveland to get some get back. I know they still remember that 41-16 beat down that Cleveland put on them about a month and a half ago. And I look for Cincinnati to get some get back and go 11-6 for the season and win that division going away. Only losing one division game. That's really a lot to be said for the Cincinnati Bengals. Who would have thought the Cincinnati Bengals could go, even have an opportunity to go through the AFC North and only lose one game in that division? Hats off to Zach Taylor and the Cincinnati Bengals. Much deserved, man. Much deserved. Then we got Green Bay at Detroit. I mean, come on, man. Green Bay already got the number 1 seed already locked up. They got 13 wins. Nobody else can get 13 wins, so they can essentially rest Aaron Rodgers. But I still think if Jordan Love plays, whoever Jordan Love, Davis Love the third, whoever Love, whatever, whoever, Bob Love, don't matter. I still think they beat the Lions. So I got Green Bay. Then you got Tennessee Titans at the Houston Texans. Tennessee probably still trying to secure that because they got to win out in order to get that home field advantage and get that much deserved bye. And that will give Derrick Henry an extra week of rest. There's some thought maybe they may try to play him this week to get him, back into, because he may be a little bit out of shape because he couldn't really run because it was a foot injury. So he can't really run. So what kind of shape is he in? So, maybe they want to get him some run, yes, to get him back into shape and still try to win this game, knowing if they win it, you get a week off, and they, and they want the playoffs wouldn't start until a week from next week, for 2 weeks from now, and they get him some much needed rest. But I got the Titans winning that one and pretty decisively. Then you got Indianapolis, Jacksonville. Look, I don't think Indianapolis is playing no games. I think Jonathan Taylor runs for 150 yards and probably has about 1,900 yards rushing for the season and like 20 touchdowns. Valid MVP candidate. And I look for Jacksonville. I look for Indianapolis to win this game. Because they're not playing with with Jacksonville, because Jacksonville could beat them. They only beat them 23-16 last time they played them. When they played them in Indy. So I'm looking for them because they're looking at, getting themselves positioned for playoffs. I don't look for them to be playing around with Jacksonville. So I look for Indy to win that one. Then we got Chicago Bears at the Minnesota Vikings. I flipped on this one because I had gone, I've been riding with Minnesota. Minnesota's let me down last couple of games. When they lost to the Green Bay last week, they weren't competitive, but I know Kirk Cousins wasn't going to be able to play. I don't know if he's going to play this game or not. It's the use. You have the playoff picture. Well, I don't understand why. Why you'd even risk hurting him or whatever you want to do with him, get him hurt, and you may want to let him go at the end of the season. But if you get hurt, then you kind of, So I don't know what you do here, but yeah, Minnesota has not looked good. None this. So they couldn't even barely beat Chicago a week or so ago, 2 weeks ago on Monday night, when Chicago really didn't have but like 25, 30, legitimate players, and they barely beat them. So, no, and Minnesota's been a disappointment last part of the season. I think Chicago upsets them in this game. I got Chicago, winning this one, okay? Then you got the Washington football team, the New York Giants. The only thing worse than the Washington football team is the New York Giants. They're a train wreck. Washington football team season's been rife with tragedies and misfortune and just a lot of just bad behavior, two players fighting on the sideline. I failed to mention that in the my Washington football team thing in my football rant, my last video. But I still think they beat the Giants at MetLife Stadium. So I got the Washington football team. Then you got the Seattle Seahawks at the Arizona Cardinals. I think Seattle plays a very spirited game, and Russ and God, what is his name? Pete Carroll's finals, Serenara. I think they play spirited, but I think Arizona's trying to get that division because they know if they win this game and the Rams lose and they're capable of losing to the San Francisco 49ers, they win the division. So they're going to come to play. So I got Arizona winning that game. I look for Kyler Murray to have a big game. Him and AJ Green and Chase Edmonds. I look for them to have a great game in this game and win this game. Maybe they get some of the CV-19 casualties they had against the Cowboys. Apparently they didn't need him. They beat the Cowboys without him, and I'm still a little bitter. Anyway, I got Arizona winning that one. Then we got New Orleans at Atlanta. Look, I think Atlanta's going to give them a go. I think Atlanta, if they won last week, they could have probably snuck into the playoffs. But I think New Orleans is looking at it, man, if we could win this game and go 9-8, we could get that last seventh playoff spot. And what a coaching job by Sean Payton to get this team into the playoffs. With another coach that were at the helm, that's a 4 or 5 win team. But Sean Payton, with Taysom Hill, Trevor Siemian, Jameis Winston, don't matter. We win some games we ain't supposed to win, and we lose some games that we probably should have won, like the Giants and a couple other games they should have won. Into the Falcons, they lost too early, they shouldn't have won. But they got a chance. I think they win this game at Atlanta, and I think they get that last playoff spot. I got New Orleans. Then you got the New York Jets at Buffalo Bills. Really? Buffalo's trying to lock up that division because they win, and no matter what New England does, if they win, they cashed in that division, and of course they get a home playoff game, and they'll make New England have to start their playoffs on the road. So they'll be motivated, even though Josh Allen has not looked good the last couple of games he's played. He played pretty good against New England week before last, but last week, man, like 123 yards, 3 interceptions against Atlanta. The Jets played spirited against Tampa Bay, so don't be surprised if this game is closer than you think. But I got Buffalo. Then last 2 games, San Francisco, fast 3 games. San Francisco at the Los Angeles Rams. Look, the Rams got everything in front of them. They win this game, they win the division. The 49ers are trying to secure that second to last playoff spot. And I think they go into this game. They got sort of a mojo, if you will, over the 49ers. Over the Rams. They seem to beat them at the line of scrimmage, a little more physical. Kyle Shanahan's a little creative with his play calling. He's going to run Elijah Mitchell. He's going to run Deebo Samuel. He's going to run over some guys. And then I think they're going to run some zone read with Trey Lance. And I think they sacked Matt. God, I can't think of his name. They're going to sack him about 4 or 5 times. And I look for them to get a couple of picks too. And so I think I look for them to win this game. And so Matt Stafford, you know me in names. And I look for them to sack Max Stafford 3 or 4 times. And I look for them to intercept a couple of his passes, maybe even a pick 6. I got San Francisco winning that one. Okay. Then we got New England Patriots at the Miami Dolphins. Look, the New England Patriots got something to play for because they know if they win this game and maybe Buffalo stumbles at New York, that they got an opportunity to win the division. And in Miami, we don't have anything to play for, but I think they'd like to go out with a winning record, and it'd be some weird things that happen in that Miami when New England go down there. I think they've lost down there the last couple of times, man. You know, I don't know, man. Even when they had Tom Brady, they go down there, it'd be like a shop of horrors. But I got New England winning this one because I think they need this win to kind of put themselves in position to go 11-6 and possibly win the division if Buffalo stumbles. And I think they'd like to put themselves in position to do that. So I got Miami. I got New England winning this game. I look for Miami to play a good game. And if Miami win it, I would not be surprised if that happened. Then we got Carolina at Tampa Bay. Look, man, Carolina's a train wreck. The Cam experiment didn't work. The Sam Darnold experiment didn't work. You almost might want to say the Matt Rule experiment didn't work. Charles Tepper's going to do something. I don't know if he fires any of these guys and gets rid of all these quarterbacks and just starts from scratch. Only thing they got is Christian McCaffrey. And Christian McCaffrey did like 8-9 games this season. So you got a lot of, I don't know, man. It's been a disaster. And Carolina started the season 3-0, and they had a lot of promise. And I thought they was going to the playoffs. But, I think they're going to win like 6 games, and that's going to be it. I got Tampa Bay winning. I look for Tom Brady to kind of pad his stats a little bit, get them 700 attempts, get his 5,000 yards in the second half, and get ready for the playoffs. I got Tampa Bay winning. Then the last game of the season, last game of 2021-22. Los Angeles Chargers at the Las Vegas Raiders on Sunday Night Football, NBC primetime. Last game, because there's no Monday night game this week, because the Monday night game is devoted to the CFP, the College Football Playoff, Georgia and the Alabama Crimson Tide. Oh, okay. That's not what we're talking about. I'm sorry. So there's no Monday night game. So this is the last game of the season. So, they got the Raiders the first time they played them, 28-14 when they played out in SoFi. And the Raiders have been through so much. The Chargers are so talented. Herbert, Eckler, you got Jared Cook, Mike Williams, Keenan Allen. But the Raiders are just so resilient. They're resilient. Derek Carr. I look for Josh Jacobs to have a big game because for some reason the Chargers cannot stop the run. I look for the Raiders to run up and down the field. And I look for Jay Jones, and I look for Hunter Renfrow. Renfrow is going to have a 100-yard season. You know that? He's got 99 catches for a little over 1,000 yards. Yeah, basically 10 yards. That's the definition of a possession receiver. If you need it. Definition of a possession receiver: 100 catches for a little over 1,000 yards. Possession receiver. You look possession receiver in the dictionary. It's got Hunter Renfrow like this, or doing this with his football jersey. You know, a guy tuck their hands in the football jersey like that. You got Hunter Renfrow in the frame looking like this. And when you look up a possession receiver in the dictionary, great route runner though. Great route runner. He's hard to cover in them little short routes. I got the Raiders, man. Something tells me the Raiders are gonna sting them and get this last playoff spot. I got the Raiders, man. And we'll check back in the week to see if I'm right. But I got the Raiders and the 49ers winning games against the Chargers and the Rams. I got, I'm going against the 2 LA teams. Sorry, man. Going with the 2 Bay Area teams. Well, they used to be the Bay Area, but they still the Bay. They still Oakland, as far as I'm concerned. But I'm gonna go with the 2 Bay Area teams against the 2 Los Angeles teams, and it's gonna be epic. But I'll check back with y'all about Monday, Tuesday after the Alabama championship, and tell y'all how my week went and see how my scores went. But that's all I got from the desk of Uncle Fred on this last weekend of the NFL 2021-2022 season. Man, it's something else, man. Like I tell you all the time, man, the NFL it don't get no better than that. Always give you something, man. Always give you something. And I'm just blessed and fortunate to be able to watch it and to enjoy it, man. And I enjoy every week of it. But that's all I got from the desk of Uncle Fred. Please like, comment, and subscribe to the Uncle Fred Sports Experience. I promise you, I guarantee you will not be disappointed. That's all I got, man. Y'all take care. I'll see you guys in a few days.